This is chaos. We're talking about one angle having three teams might cancel each other out. We haven't seen the other side of the circle yet, but here comes Team Iraq coming in for the rush. But Team Brunei, they are prepared to take a slight advantage on this elevation, but unfortunately, Kevin knows better. Iraq managed to secure one, and Team Pakistan just arrived. But unfortunately, Brunei team got eliminated from there. Team Pakistan, they want to take those points away in the last minute, but it was just a tad bit too late. Here comes Falak. He's cooking and prepping it out. His throwers, hoping it will somehow connect within the smoke, but unfortunately, there's going to be a retreat coming up from Team Iraq. ASO trying to gain any sort of information or visualization on Team Pakistan. But I love how these two teams play right now. They sneak and pick and hide themselves, not giving away too much information. But Huzaifa, from an off angle, managed to knock down on one. Will it be a go time for Team Pakistan right now? Falak just arrived.
And both sides, they will never back down when it comes down to a duel. It is Twisted Minds versus 4 Tribes in essence, and you can see how sharp they are. Trade for another trade. Icon back and forth up against Falak. He does find the mark. E24 OP is trying to pull off a quick revive, and right now the push is being set right in, coming from the side of SO. Is he going to be able to find the mark? He does actually spot Huzaifa all the way from the back. Being very careful about this. The revive did go through. Now the SOK will not find the mark. Instead, T24. He comes up on top.
Kevin, it's all on to Kevin right now. Very unhealthy HP. Oh, he barely can stand up. Icon just arrived a bit too late, but can he do anything about this rather than damage control? He definitely bring his teammate up in the air a bit, but Icon and UMP, hopefully to actually get on one, he might just cause another with one bleeding out for Team Pakistan. But the problem is, can he spot Huzaifa? What a nade!
That was beautiful from Huzaifa. You can see the fight went on and on and on. Pakistan, they found another opening. Icon was absolutely on fire. You saw how many points he's gotten for the side of Team Iraq. And they still walk out with 4, but 4 is all that they gained so far. Meanwhile, they carry on with the side of Team Nepal, as they are on top of the hill, eyeing out on the rest of Team Mongolia. And it's only down to Zio. And take a look at the couple tags. It's the rest of Myanmar arriving to the scene. It's holding them back as well. So that gives a little bit more room for the rest of Team Mongolia to breathe.
Oh, Master Zordi. Hoping nobody tried to rush towards their side, but at least they managed to recuperate a bit on the side of Team Nepal. Down to only 2 players. We're down to only top 4 right now. Team Malaysia, Team Nepal. Well, Team Myanmar do have a full squad. Team Pakistan have a trio, and we do know when it comes to their firepower, that's more than enough, despite they lost Falak early on. But for Team Malaysia, Shamil is surrounded by Team Myanmar. How to get out even from the blue zone, but who's shooting? Is it going to be Master Zordi from afar? I think it's going to be Team Myanmar.
Oh, they heard his footsteps. Unfortunately for Team Malaysia, they ran out of that space. He was actually considering of getting back at the side of Team Nepal, but of course, the rest of Team Myanmar, they have been definitely on the nose of what's really going on. They do have the hovercraft, a very tanky vehicle for the rest of these teams to eventually deal with. TMGA, though, on the mark, has been able to locate majority of the members of Team Myanmar. A couple of these utils now being handed out over onto the open grounds. In such a short duration in stage 6, we're only down to these 3 teams, and Team Nepal, they're happy to really let a couple of these other members of Team Pakistan to also get involved, but Master Zordi gets picked off.
Feel like this is gonna be an easy chicken for Team Pakistan. They are unscouted by these 2 teams right now. None of their scouters or no information regarding Team Pakistan position for Team Nepal and Myanmar. It's going to be them trying to take each other out first. Here comes their repositioning for Team Pakistan. Look at how they're creeping behind Team Nepal. Smile tried to take down the last player of Team Nepal as well. It's going to be sandwiched between 2 sides here. Team Nepal for the last play, TMG8. What can you do about it? Here comes the overcraft. Oh, he got down, and that's going to be gone. Team Nepal have to place themselves in the third place for the first round here, while Team Myanmar, they just walk in straight with a hovercraft. Got slight elevations. Romeo, can he actually spot any of the Team Pakistan player? Here comes a Nate flying in. Who will be hit down first?
And right now, there's just no visuals for the side of Team Myanmar. They just have to go in for some blind toss of those utils. And speaking of which, they soak a big one, and it's coming in from IQ from all the way down under. And this opens up the account for the side of Team Pakistan. The members of 4 Tribes can smell it already. And there we go. We have Romeo trying to hold the line. Can he do it up against Pakistan?
IQ, he does have a Molotov right now. He can actually just toss it away to make sure they are cornered. But Romeo will try to walk out, try to snake within the smoke. Here comes an ace flying over. Smile still asking and screaming for help. Unfortunately, nobody have the time. They're a bit occupied right now with the bombardments coming up from the side of Team Pakistan here. But IQ knocked down by SayCloud. This is going to be an opening. OP try to go in and help this teammate, but it's quite slippery here.
And they're slowly running out of space. There's not much time left for the side of Team Myanmar. They're by the edge of the zone, being held back. And when they run through the open space, Huzaifa has been able to mark them down. SayCloud, now he gets a little bit of info. He needs to deal with Huzaifa, or else the rest of Team Myanmar will bow out.
Huzaifa have to start to move as well. He's slightly close to as the blue zone. He popped the smoke straight away, knowing SayCloud has him on his cross there. There's a sharp taps coming up from SayCloud. Basically a brief spray at that. Very beautiful indeed. Crispy at that. But SayCloud, he got those elevation, but it's a bit too steep for him to visualize these two players. It's going to be a 1v2 situation right now. Romeo will be safe for now, but SayCloud holding the line by himself. And Team Myanmar. Wow, that was a very epic ending between these two teams, but Myanmar scored the first chicken of today.
And just like how they did back in the past with Yangon Galacticos, they continue to be the shining beacon of hope. Footing firm, he's not allowing the rest of Brunei to invade for the moment. Shenko now jumps in for a couple of attacks into the walls, but he's not really finding the mark just yet. The rest of Brunei have to deal with a couple of nades being tossed out from Romeo, as well as the rest of Myanmar right now.
Oh, Newbie still holding well. Oh, they played all the small barriers. So on the side of Team Brunei, they tried to turn the things around for the side of Team Myanmar, who had more player before. But here comes Team Nepal. Speaking of third party, and the perfect timing as well. Delta already prepped himself those throwables, try to flush them out. Team Brunei and Team Myanmar both seems to be in trouble. Delta spotted out Newbie. Oh, here comes the housekeeping team. Myanmar going for Shako. Delta within that asked to finish off the job as per usual. Both teams got eliminated, I assume, in this case. It's going to be Team Nepal for the win, and the last man standing for Team Myanmar is going to be Master Smile.
I love that the South Asian teams are really showing their strength so far. Nepal with 5, Pakistan with 6. And there's only going to be great news out there. But as for Myanmar, though, they had their backs up against the wall. They had to deal with so much, and that third party did not help at all. Small getting tagged from the back. It's Nepal getting denied by Pakistan. And IQ, he found that cheeky little pocket of angle. And just like that, they now see empty rooms, but there's going to be a lot of loot for the rest of Team Nepal to stock up with, and then they could deal with Pakistan later on. But take a look at UAE as well as Team Malaysia. They make it to the top 4, and now they are very elusive. There's just no inkling of where they're currently located. If they're no, runs out in the open. Master Zordi, he might actually hear some of these footsteps, but he loses that trail as Iftar is just crawling by the corner of the wall.
Master Zordi a bit separated from the rest of his teammate. A very bold decision made by Team Nepal here. I guess he didn't know there's Iftar from Team Malaysia as the last man standing there, but for IQ, can he pull another 2000 IQ play once more from afar? But I think Zayo and Delta pretty much know exactly where he's at. They're going to go in for the rush perhaps, or maybe not. Maybe they have no clue about his position here. But they know there'll be somebody, but they're not sure how many players are there. Well, we do have 4 more teams remaining. Teams United Arab Emirates seems to be the only one to be observing between these 3 teams right now. And they have the most men for Team Nepal. While the other solo players, Team Pakistan and Team Malaysia, they just gotta wait this one out. It's just about waiting time and 20 seconds on the clock. We will finally see who will get favored by the last circle. It will be everything for the solo players right now.
For sure. And IQ, despite him being all alone, take a look at the damage he's done so far. I believe that's a total of 400 over damage at this point in time, securing himself 4 elimination points, of course, with the help of his teammates as well, in that flurry of an engagement that they had prior to this. I believe Iftar has been spotted out. Delta making sure that he does not step out of line. But meanwhile, Zio finally gets attacked over onto UAE. So they definitely have the entire whereabouts pretty much sniffed out from the side of UAE.
Oh, no.
And Iftar's only got this tiny corner of the wall. I don't even know where does he even run towards, because
he has to climb up. That's the only way. But the moment he climbs out, it's going to be clear as day for Delta to just shoot him down. So that it's at least the least he can do is try to wait things out where he can try to steal it from afar before, well, the inevitable will arrive. The blue zone is there. So basically, it's just a matter of time for Team Malaysia.
Yeah, Team Malaysia is hoping that maybe the attention is being drawn towards the other quarter, but instead, Delta will not miss the mark. He's been keeping his eyes really closely on the Malaysian roster, and that will be it. Another top 4 finish for Malaysia, despite not gaining any elimination points, which is very unlikely for a team that has, seen so many international appearances. Meanwhile, that was absurd coming out of the rest of UAE, trying to do something in return, but it's a splatter out of Team Nepal. They divide, they conquer, and now it's only down to IQ. Can he do more? Apparently not, as Team Nepal takes this one in the back.
Wow, what a consistency coming up from the top 4 teams just now. I mean, 3 teams seems to be having the top 4 twice in a row. It's just the difference is going to be the chicken dinner who will actually score it. Unfortunately for Pakistan, but it's also good news. They have one of the most consistency between these 2 maps here. Both maps, they ended up as second place and got quite hefty amount of elimination. So I guess they might actually overtake Team Myanmar, who got eliminated quite early compared to their last map. They might actually be at #1 spot right now for Team Pakistan, but it based on Team Nepal's eliminations. I do know they have a lot.
Though they're working on it. There we have it. Beautiful toss once again coming from Mongolia, and now they're eyeing out onto the smoke, trying to spot out Scofield, but he's going to be able to find himself some refuge for the time being. But take a look at the rest of the party. Team Malaysia is also getting involved in this third party, while the sprays are not connecting just about yet. But Mongolia, they played this perfect defense, and they're just making it heard for the rest of those coming from the side of Oman. But soon enough, they got to make a move, and they need to ditch some of their fellow teammates, because there's just no time with the rival of Team Malaysia.
Nades galore flying over Schofield. He's still alive. But Rufus is running amok in this one. Calm down, Rufus. He keeps taking those feet. He's going great right now. I mean, he's not showing any sign of slowing down, but on the side of Team Oman, one by one, they're dropping with another nade coming up on Faxcry, and Rufus is not stopping, dropping those big explosives and taking another one down. My God, Rufus is really breaking his back, giving so much momentum for the team in points as well.
True enough, and we're also seeing the start of something coming in from the side of Team Malaysia, as they're showing their fangs at this moment. Faxcry getting involved as they go in for a little bit of a drive-by, a drive-through that sees a couple more knocks going in their favor. Team might just be looking for another swerve to try to cause a little bit of that decoy. And they're just so proactive in the field right now, on the hunt, taking charge of what's going on by the edges of the map, because they know for a fact that Mongolia, they're around the corner, and there we go, a swing from Vexcry for the double, and they will eliminate Team Oman.
Feels like a Thanksgiving day for the side of Team Malaysia just now. A straight line of sight to get doubled down instantly and scores themselves a 5 elimination in this round right now. We have plenty of 5 across the board. We're down to 5 teams as well. But unfortunately, there's one team, Team Uzbekistan. That's going to be Hardboy as the last man standing. Now, how to pass across Team Mongolia, who's happy to be getting the momentum right now. Will Rufus let him pass? But never mind. It's Master Zordi all across downtown, almost 300 meters away, shutting him down. We're down to the 14s, but Mongolia, Team Mongolia, despite they only have 2 players and barely got full squad since the start, they lost it this long with plenty of eliminations thanks to Rufus.
And that is the tenacity of the former world champions. They're still showing us that they have what it takes here to hold out despite the odds stacked up against them. Begin with here, we still have Myanmar, who have been silent for the rest of the round, but starting to get a little bit more involved here in the top 4. I think it's just about time that they get themselves a little bit more proactive, because Team Malaysia, they're out there on the fields. They're only hugging by the edges, whereas Team Myanmar has already occupied that space. And somewhere in the middle is where it gets really risky for teams to really play out from, which is why nobody wants to be in the center of the attention. So Malaysia, they've done just about enough work early on to secure those 5 points. But now with 4 members left, I think they could definitely achieve a little bit more. But it really boils down on how they handle the situation with the rest of Team Myanmar watching at the very corner.
You know what? It's a very different dynamic now with Team Malaysia swapping in Voki. It just gives a different approach to it.
Instant impact, right?
And more aggressive as well. Look at that. They're charging in, not thinking twice, straight into Team Mongolia. Last 2 members. Zion is down and they got eliminated instantly. That's how change they are playing now for Team Malaysia with that 1 player swap in. But here comes Nades flying in. They got connected somehow. Voki's on the ground. We couldn't praise them too much, but what a trade by Kim as well. Master Zordi on the ground, bleeding out. Now Nepal, Team Nepal and Malaysia quite busy amongst themselves, but don't forget about Team Myanmar, who's watching from the sidelines. They are coming in as a third party.
And you can see Team Malaysia, the current champions of the PNNC Malaysia, MEC, holding firm as this entire squad is looking very formidable to try to challenge up against the rest of Nepal. Both did manage to go on that reset, so they got to be on the reserve on those troubles, because right now they're expanding it blindly onto Nepal, and it does seem like all of that was a miss. Zordi now stays put and sends out Delta to the fields. Now this is getting a little bit more exciting, because that flank angle coming from Delta could be something of a surprise towards the Malaysian squad, but he's not going to overcommit. Smart maneuvers so far coming from the side of Team Nepal. And also at the very same time, Myanmar, they're waiting for these 2 to really dive into the battle so they can hurt party as well. So it's all about timing for the side of Myanmar to get involved.
Oh, they haven't got themselves any eliminations, but I think they have plenty if they can take both teams out here. It's going to be scoring them 8 points in total if they can fight against a full squad. It's going to be 3 teams with full squad. This is going to be super interesting. Who initiate any shot first? It's going to be the one that be targeted by both teams at the same time. So they have to be very careful about their decision making here. I agree with you. When it comes to throwables, this is where it's super important for them to have enough. But so far, when it comes to Team Malaysia, you don't see plenty of it, except for Monet with 8 hand grenades. That's plenty. I think it's time to use it now, but his AUG don't have enough reserve right now. So I think it's best to toss the hand grenades first, but I'm not sure whether the other teammates of Team Myanmar still have plenty of it. But they can actually slowly closing the distance by picking their poison. They have to pick whether they want to fight the left side or the right side first. Or maybe they're just waiting things out. Because high chance Team Malaysia might focus towards Team Nepal. But if Team Myanmar seems to be opening fire first, both teams seem to be focusing straight to Myanmar because it's easier that way.
Yeah, I do think that team...
Yeah, they're opposite straight. No, never mind.
Oh, boy. I was just analyzing the situation. It does seem very likely that Team Malaysia might get sandwiched in between, but all thanks to the attacks coming from Nepal, now it becomes a fair exchange between all three parties. Because if you take a look at the minimap, Team Malaysia, they barely have enough space other than the bowl, and here comes Zordi. He's just holding on to that DPS with that double swing coming from Malaysia. The attack is real, and that will clean it up for Nepal. Beautiful work rate, and now 2 more left. Make it only 1, as they will have that nade to seal the deal. Nepal, once again, is up here in the top 2.
What a cover fire just now coming up from Dio. That was perfect timing to give the aid for Master Zodi in the nick of time. But back to it, it's going to be a 4v4. As Team Malaysia plays himself at the third place, Team Myanmar is spotted out by Master Zodi first. He's super crucial in this position right now. He can change so much. Master Zodi will be the pivotal player to find that off angle. But back to it, Team Nepal. They're trying to upgrade their loot before they run for the last fight between these two teams to score that chicken. Between these two, both are very consistent here right now. Myanmar already got himself 1 chicken. Nepal already just got himself last chicken. Well, either of these 2 teams, they will score a double chicken at least for today.
That's right. History does repeat themselves, and we got to see which one will actually take it, though. Myanmar, they have such a strong showing. And of course, coming down to this ferocious battle, it's also a battle of attrition. And we last saw Myanmar, they do have plenty of those nades still in their back pockets. And they did secure themselves a knock. Now, that is going to be a tough task for Nepal to now work with only 2 players left, but they're trying their level best as they flung in a couple more nades towards the direction. Romeo soaking all that damage coming through, and Zordi, he's getting a couple of attacks being sent his way. Romeo boy has to also hide himself behind that haystack. They barely can see anything as they are just leaning into that perfect cause, and now it could be anyone's game.
Master Zodi managed to reset himself, but Myanmar team keep pressuring with those nades coming in, flying with only 2 players. A TMG 8 will be taken out, leaving with only 1 player. Oh, Team Myanmar, this is going to be 100% for them. No way they're going to blunder this one out, and it's going to be Masters of that lake. What a long shot coming in, and Romeo now being visited by Wahish. Team Iraq, they want to reclaim their old position now. Hopefully it's not too late for them as Kevin managed to take down Romeo. It's go time or not. Team Iraq, they still have 3 players and they can actually make it through.
And they have just had a perfect setup coming in. Icon going for a little bit of a swerve on that vehicle as Kevin has been able to confirm that number up against Romeo. Only 2 more remain from the side of Myanmar being brought down to size. In such a short span of moment, you can see that big scramble has left only 5 more teams remaining. Delta now having a couple attacks coming in from the back. He's got to be very mindful of his movements while the rest of Nepal tries to cut right through. Pakistan so far have been nabbing points after points by safeguarding this bridge. TMG8 now tries to sniff them out though. Fallout, desperate attempt into the waters. He tries to dive deeper, but it is that SMG that was in hand that TMG8 has been so masterful with. And there we go, 4 points in for side of Nepal as we see them go neck and neck. It's only 24 OP who's currently holding on, but there's barely enough cover grounds for him to work with.
It's not a ground to work with, it's just water right now for the side of He's still making it happen. Ooh. Wait a minute. That's nasty. That's cheeky coming up from T24 OP. That's really OP plays down there. Definitely rage baiting the rest of Nepal to stop firing just to that one last player of Team Pakistan. So cheeky the way he plays it. Very, very genius plays indeed. Back to this. It just bought him so much time. and actually extended the stay for Team Nepal, and this will actually impact their entry into the circle later on for Team Nepal.
And also, I want to highlight the fact that Team Laos, this is their longest survival time, and they still have a full squad strength. T24 OP finally gets sent with a grenade. He brought too much attention because he was so sneaky to actually steal away one from the side of Nepal. But never mind that, we will carry on. So we have majority of the rest of the pack with 3 members left, except for Laos with a full squad. TXL have gotten so much intel on both Nepal as well as the members of Iraq at the moment. So this could be an upper hand, depending on how they play this one out. They do have the advantage of the zone. They don't really have to make anything too drastic to happen right at this moment. And certainly for the side of Myanmar with 2 members left, they just want to ensure that Nepal does not detect their movement for the meantime. As I do say that, a couple of straight packs have connected, and Delta, he lands a perfect one at that. SayCloud instantly getting himself into trouble. And now there's only one more remaining for the side of Myanmar.
Last play of Myanmar. Oh, Iraq. Team Iraq definitely knows Team Myanmar coming out from that side. They fought each other before. A bit harder for Smile to actually drive. I mean, he got an option to drive straight into the river and just hopefully... Never mind, I spoke too soon. It's going to be them getting them... At least they're still consistently getting themselves in the top 4. But now it begs the question, will Team Nepal score their 3rd chicken for the day? Can they score a hat-trick here just within the Wrangle map?
And perhaps that may be ability, though. Nepal, though, they've been relatively consistent, and this is that perfect opportunity to form that overtake up against Myanmar. They've been working really hard, and Pakistan, since they're out of the equation as well, this is going to be one of the very few chances that they do get before they move into the next map. Delta, so far, looking very sharp, of course. The veteran that has played in big teams such as DRS has been able to show up strength by strength as they now move into that late game skirmish. Wahesh marks onto the Lao members. The Laotians not exactly giving them any form of edge. And speaking of which, that moment that he goes for the peak, Wahesh finds it in return.
I don't think he was scoping in for that one. While he was trying to tap with the scope, it did not somehow connect, but when he was doing a hip fire, it seems like it somehow connected. But here comes Kevin, going in for the rush against Team Lao, but they greeted him warmly with some troubles. Come out from Kevin, unfortunately. No cover fire for Kevin. While he's trying to make do with whatever he can, but unfortunately it's a bit too far for him to reach out. He needs to reposition himself with a smoke-up vehicle. I think it's a bit risky, but they do have Nepal players. Team Nepal is very close by. Zayo already prepped himself with a DBS. It feels like he will force into a mid-range, and I think probably this hand grenade is going to be more than enough to shut down a Wahesh. Let's wait and see. Oh, halfway down, and Master Zordi. What a distraction as well.
Another big one being sent right in. Wahesh.
This is it.
Can he actually hold it down, though? Zayo putting the pressure, and that is a perfect lob out of Zayo. A 3rd place finish from the side of Iraq. Very respectable as they do clinch plenty more points. But right now, Nepal takes over the lead with 51 points. Can they find more up against Laos? Laos makes their way into the top 2 for the very first time. Delta now going in, taking charge on a close quarter combat. There's an angle being found from the side of TXL.
Oh, it's going to be Master Zordi. Will try to have a bit of a trade-off between Laos and Team Nepal right now. It's going to be a 2v3. Numbers-wise, it's more favoring towards Team Laos' side. But when it comes to sealing the deal, can they actually do it for Team Laos? It's going to be 2v2. A fair field to start with. It's back to square one. BH spotted out the rotation and the positioning on the side of Team Nepal. Master Zordi, what a crispy spray just now. Perfectly angled as well. Here comes finishing it. Will they get a hat trick here for Team Nepal? They're definitely coming in strong here.
Yeah, they're not wasting any more time to go in for the rush. TXL, can he actually find it? Double all by himself. A couple of sprays, not hitting the mark. And this will be it. Nepal celebrates with their chicken dinner here in the final round of Erangel.
2 chickens here today for Nepal, not the third one, but yep, 2 for each of Myanmar and Nepal. I guess they are crowning themselves as kings and princes. I'm the only last player, Manette in trouble. Behind there's going to be Falak. We do know Falak never let anybody or anything pass by easily. T24 OP spotted out. Oh, Manette. That's very close.
Very, very close indeed. There we go. Falak coming up from the top side. And that's one angle that he could not cover overall. 2 times with the jump shot. Falak is showing some really great air action coming out from the hillside. Meanwhile, it's Oman versus Iraq as the Mediterranean teams are just side by side. And it seems like they are not going to call for a truce. A couple attacks onto Schofield already, but it does not deter them from holding this position.
Circle just shifted onto the northern side, where Team Iraq, Team Uzbekistan, and Team Oman. It's super crucial for them to defend this circle against Team Pakistan right now, who's happened to be the one that might have bigger firepower despite the only 2 players. But Team Brunei, this is also one of the longest they lasted for these teams. So they need at this point more than the others, especially Team Iraq. If they can catch up slightly a bit more, they need just a couple of more eliminations. They barely got any right now. 0 for both Team Oman and Team Iraq. They should make use of this advantage here. Try to get as much point as they can.
They're pushing through up against Team Pakistan though, and we got to see if they could actually hold it out. We saw T24 as well as Fallout. They've done quite significant damage. 5 points and 4 points to their names at the moment. Wrong now, drawing up close and personal. A couple of shots are also coming in from another direction, so they got to wrap this battle real quickly.
Wrongs. There's going to be Bad Boy from Team Uzbekistan shooting him from the off angle. They didn't see this one coming. They are focusing towards Team Pakistan right now. T24 OP here is cooking up another one. Falak trying to find another target, but it's Shackle coming up from behind. T24, Brunei, they are in shambles. Left, right, center, they are shots from even the far. Chewy. Oh boy, he's trying to find the last member of Team Pakistan right now with Newbie alongside with him. And Team Pakistan now finally getting down at numbers. But Team Oman, they're going to take the heat against Team Iraq. Kevin, what can he do about this? Salami, you have to take out all those nades flying over. Uzbekistan, they do have better numbers. And Team Oman, that's going to be them at 4th place.
There we go, as we see Iraq trying to recover, but the rest of Uzbekistan denies that opportunity. They still have full squad strength, and right now, all that remains is the sheer focus onto Brunei on the other side of the map.
Glory, very bold and brazen there, giving such an ambitious spray from very far, but Newbie, change over to a close quarter combat weaponries, but back to his side of Newbie. He wants to take down on Ramses. He knows Ramses could hold himself a hostage right now. He needs to deal with the off-angle first, but the problem is the cover fire is coming up from Uzbekistan high ground, giving it such a hard time. They need to get into the circle, like it or not, but the only way to do so is just popping those smokes, which they barely have, none.
It's a full control, like you said. Uzbekistan, should they play their cards safely, this should be their game to win, but we'll see whether if Brunei, they could fend off some of these challenges as they drop straight towards the side of Hard Boy. And it's going to be Glory that gets the angles right. Newbies, last stand, he gets the trade done.
He's very low. Barely 1 HP, but here comes the next fight. The collateral damage is more than enough. And that's going to be the collateral damage to secure their first chicken. And finally, we have a different team to score the chicken for today. Congratulations to Team Uzbekistan. I called the shot just now. They definitely can get into the top 6.
And this will guarantee it. The players hailing from both Arcrit as well as But now there's still plenty of space left here in stage 6. Voki has been poking and prodding, but right now, it might just be a risky move for Malaysia to leave him all alone to manage the situation. They send Kim on that 2-2 split. But for now, the rest of Team Malaysia keeping their eyes close onto Uzbek. And they're just by the edge of the map. Over the south side, take a look at Oman as well. They have spread out. Salami now getting himself further over onto the western side. But Brunei, they have the zone advantage and they got the compounds.
But they don't get themselves any points from that standpoint. So they're waiting for Oman to actually make a shot first. But for Team Oman, like it or not, they have to take the fight here. But I mean, they want the chicken. For elimination points, I think it's more than enough for Oman. But they need that chicken. They super need that chicken to 100% secure they get themselves the top 6. It's doable for Oman. Right now, they are at 24, pretty much at a tie with Team Brunei. The difference will be who will actually go down first. Every single point matter. Every single team that got eliminated first will impact who will get into the finals there. 3 teams that's unconfirmed that still have a shot. I think Iraq, it's safe to say they're probably not going to make it with how Brunei is still alive now.
And Uzbekistan also gets to place ballers in that 3-way battle for the final spot to hit into the finals for later in the evening. And that is where they will fight for the tickets for their chance to hit directly to the main event happening in Aichi, Nagoya, Japan for the 20th Asian Games that will be happening in September. Malaysia so far being very conservative. Even more so for Team Brunei. All Brunei has to really do right now, play pure defense and nothing else. But they could also not afford to let too many drop of elimination points to go to the hands of Malaysia. Because if that is the case, then their chances will be hurt where they need much more to overcome Malaysia that's currently above them.
Oh, the only one without actions right now is just Team Brunei. Now they're being surrounded by all the teams that's remaining here. Fire shot. Iftar spot out Uzbekistan players. There's only 2 of them, but firepower-wise is more than enough. On the side of Team Brunei, very different buildings for some of their teammates. But Team Malaysia, like it or not, they have... Never mind, the circus on their side. Team Oman is actually the one in the dire spot to get into this circle. They have this tiniest entry into the circle. A bit difficult for the position to actually score this chicken dinner, honestly.
I would say the same as well. You can see Iftar has got this target locked over onto the corners of that compound. And thankfully, they're not really sticking their bodies out in the open for the meantime, or else that would be very detrimental to their chances here. And Uzbekistan, they're by the edge of the zone with only 2 members left. It is really difficult for them to really crack open that space, but if they could just basically get a little bit more of that terrain to cover from, maybe they might be able to squeeze a little bit of that space. But even so, Team Malaysia, they've been eyeing out on the field. So this is a very dangerous predicament for the side of Uzbekistan. Brunei, they're just making sure that they remain patient. They don't really have to do too much. But with this drop shot from Uzbekistan, you can see they unleash a couple of straight tags out towards their side, and they're hoping to hunt out this point. Newbies goes down.
This is not great. This is the only time for them to actually get those points, but unfortunately it's been stolen. Also taken out by Voki. Team Malaysia take advantage as much as they can, while Hardboy is really giving it a hard time for Team Brunei right now. Oh boy, this is very close when it comes to really finishing at the line, the finishing line itself, between Team Oman, Malaysia and Team Brunei. I wouldn't worry too much for Team Uzbekistan. They definitely will be in the finals. But between Team Oman, now the Blue Zone's hitting him. Oh, they are just way soaked in the Blue Zone right now. It's so difficult to get out. If they will be the first one to get out of this 4 teams for Team Oman, I would dare to say it's not going to be enough for them. yet. They have to at least get 2 more eliminations.
Oh, take a look at Oman. They're trying to brute force their way onto the territories of Brunei, but they got caught out because they got themselves pretty much cornered up with nowhere to hide, and that leaves Team Malaysia some chances to also snag some points, but Shaco secures it up against Schofield. And now, take a look at the points again. Brunei is just 1 point away from tying it with Malaysia.
They definitely overtake it, Rock. I think it's safe to say Malaysia and Brunei actually can get into the top 6 with the Rock get pushed down in this case. So congratulations, I guess, but it's down to Oman. If Oman can get 1 more point of elimination, but unfortunately the Blues will start to finish him off. And they got eliminated by Faxcry. This confirmed as they swap places. Team Malaysia now in 5th place. As Team Oman will bow down. Now this is between Malaysia and Brunei just to score for the chicken.
And Brunei, they've already got 27 points. They just need at least 1 more point to knock down Team Iraq, who is not in the game right at this moment. So in the form of trades, they need to make sure if they were to scramble, they need to at least secure a point. That's all that they need right now up against Team Malaysia. They can both make it true for Southeast Asia.
I think they already made it through, provided they only got themselves extra 6 points for the positions ranking. So it's just a matter of getting the chicken dinner to finish off such a great day today. But Shako already prepared himself with the DBFs. Now waiting for whoever steps in here. It's going to be this compound for the last circle. No more circle. We're down to stage 9. As Newbie waiting for this S12K. Voki got caught around the window. Now it's down to 3 players. 4v3 as Voki got finished instantly. But will the rest of the Malaysian players now slowly in shambles? Faxcry making a comeback to a Shako. Finish it off. Now trading between these 2 teams. Trading blows. Level up the game at 2v1 Brunei. They couldn't score it yet. Chewy got burned by the blue. Team Malaysia finish off the day with, last but not least, their first chicken dinner in this tournament.
And you cannot ask for a better outcome for both Team Malaysia as well as Brunei. And with this victory, Team Malaysia confirms their spot